Greetings loyal subscribers and honoured guests. There's a bumper selection of goodies on this power pack because issue 16 of Commodore format came with not one but two tapes on the cover. Let's get stuck in. The first tape is entirely taken up by the Graphic Adventure Creator, a powerful tool that can be used to create your own fully fledged adventure games, if you have the time and the talent to invest in such an endeavour. The software can be pretty complex and hard to get your head around, but luckily a PDF file of the full manual can be found online if you wish to learn it thoroughly. There is a demo game called Ransom on side B of the tape which I have used some footage of here. It will give you an idea of the sort of game that you can make. This one definitely requires a commitment if you want to get anything out of it, but the effort might be worth it if you're creatively inclined. On to tape 2 then, which is where the bulk of the action is. First up is a full game by the name of Head the Ball. It's a rather infuriating little platformer where you could take control of a green head in an attempt to progress through the game and rescue your girlfriend, also a head, from the clutches of the evil thingies that have abducted her. There are several reasons why this proves to be somewhat frustrating. Firstly, the jumping controls feel floaty and imprecise, so it can be hard to judge how much you need to push the joystick in order to get over or underneath the bad guys. Secondly, while you do have a few different weapons, supplies are severely limited, so you will burn through your stock of bullets, bombs and shields in no time. Finally, there is a time limit, compounding the already tough nature of the game. Masochists may glean some fun from this one, or you could just stick on a trainer and play through it that way. Too frustrating for my tastes though. Next up is a playable demo of First Samurai. Now, I have played this game quite a bit on the Amiga, but this is the first time that I've tried the C64 version. This is actually a pretty impressive port of the game, though I struggled a bit to remember exactly what you're supposed to be doing. You start the game without a weapon, but as you slay enemies you gradually fill up a meter which will eventually grant you with a sword that makes life a good deal easier. The constant barrage of enemies can be rather annoying though, and if you lose too much energy then your sword will disappear again. There are a bunch of chests scattered throughout the level, and you need to go around smashing them open until you find the item you need to proceed forward. It's another tricky game, but with practice and perseverance you can make progress. It's also a nice sizable chunk of the full game. After that, another full game by the name of Mission Impossibubble. The bubbly head type thing that you control in this game is strangely similar to the one in Head the Ball. Anyway, this is a maze game. Explore the different screens, pick up 8 pieces of map in the right order, rescue the captured bubble and then take them back to the start before moving on to the next level. That's all well and good, but two things will make your life rather difficult. First, a constant stream of respawning thunderclouds and goofy looking evil bubbles that will kill you on contact, and second, teleporters. Bloody teleporters. These things will make your life a misery, zapping you all around the gaff as you feebly attempt to remember which one takes you where. It's not a terrible game by any means, but like the others on this tape so far, it can be quite annoying to play and make any decent progress in. Luckily, Power Pack 16 closes out with a fantastic demo of The Amazing Creatures 2. This is worth the price of admission alone, and I imagine that it was the reason that a great many people bought the magazine who hadn't read it before back in the day. The section of the game that's included here is based on one of the interlude levels, where you have to bounce a certain number of fuzzy wuzzies to safety with the aid of a trampoline, though it is a specially made version for Commodore format. It took me a good few attempts to remember exactly how the controls work. I kept propelling poor fuzzies into a painful demise. Eventually though it came back to me and I marvelled in the fantastic graphics and sound. Creatures 2 is truly one of the highlights of the C64 library, and while the interlude stages are not as fun as the torture chambers or the boss fights, they are still pretty cool. So that's it for another episode. Most of the games this time are a tad on the frustrating side, but I have no doubt that if you stick with them for a while you would get a lot better. I remember playing the same games over and over for hours back in the day until I finally got good at them. Creatures 2 is definitely the standout this time around, that's for sure. See you again in another 2 weeks for Power Pack 17. In the meantime, take care.